find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
What time is it? Let me check my watch. Oh, it's bone o'clock. In olden days, a glimpse of femur was only for morbid dreamers, but you're not alone. Bring anything bones. Two goofy gals with deathly interest go on a skeleton inquest in your headphones. Anything bones.
Hello and welcome to Anything Bones. I'm Sophie Phalanges Schwartz.
And I'm Katelyn Tail Bone Heart.
Well, I have to start it off with happy birthday, Katelyn.
Thank you very much. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius, bonehead bitches.
Are you an Aquarius?
Yeah.
What are the attributes of an Aquarius?
I think weird, free spirit, creative. I don't know. Somebody else has to. I don't really pay that much attention to it unless it is specifically just about me, and even then, obviously, I don't know that much.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. It looks like there's a birthday quiz here. And I couldn't possibly take it because it's not my birthday. Do you think you would be willing to take this birthday quiz? I mean, it says that somebody has to take it, or the big bony monster is going to come into our house and steal our spines.
Oh God! I mean, yeah. If that's the case, I guess I better take one for the team.
Okay, I believe that you can do this. They're sending me the questions now. Okay,
who is?
There's only
the
5.
Government?
I think it's the big bony monster. You must answer my birthday questions.
Birthday riddles.
I'm gonna come. Birthday riddles! Yes, this is a segment called Birthday Riddles. Where a big bony monster speaks through me, through text messages I get to my phone, where I quiz Katelyn. So, we're gonna start off with question number 1. What is the biggest bone in the human body?
The femur.
Hell yeah! Straight out the gate. All right, name the components of the deadly triad.
Oh, God.
This is a trio of behaviors that is common in serial killers. And for extra points, what is, like, the clinical name for it?
So something sociopathy? Like triad of sociopathy, maybe?
Yeah.
And it's definitely bedwetting, cruelty to animals, and setting fires.
Hell yeah, bitch. Boom, boom, boom. All right, why does Agent Booth like Valentine's Day? Why does he say it's good?
Oh, God. I should know this. From the classic Fox TV show Bones. Because oh, God, all I can think about is how religious he is.
No, we just talked about it. You almost did it. Why does Booth like Valentine's Day? What happened to a bunch of people
a
on
massacre.
Valentine's Day? Yes, the Valentine's Day massacre.
That's right.
Question 4. What is the brand of coffin the lady in red was buried in?
Oh, Iron Fisk coffin. Fisk iron.
Fisk iron casket. Yes. Boom. Oh my God.
Stop, flip it, and reverse it.
Bitch, you are killing this. This is the last question. This is for all the points. The bony monster's right behind you.
Fuck.
He's got his phalanges right by your spine.
Okay.
This is a fill-in-the-blank question.
Okay.
A boy found blank inside a teddy bear from a thrift store.
Oh, cremated human remains.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh my goodness, did you see that? The bony monster turned into flames and then into ash and then floated away on the wind.
Yeah, he was like Voldemort in Harry Potter 7. Bye.
Yes. Oh, thank you for saving us from that emergency birthday quiz, Katelyn.
Thank you so much. I love a quiz. I love to prove myself.
And I know you love getting top marks.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, as I kind of mentioned in my quiz, we are recording this quite close to Valentine's Day, which is right by Katelyn's birthday. And so it is, of course, named for Saint Valentine. And you know where there's a saint, I'm asking the question, Where are those saints' bones?
Give me the relics. Give them to me.
I love it. Every chance that I can go ahead and research the bones of saints, I like to do it. Mm-hmm. Because it's a weird thing that we do, is keep the bones of saints.
Yeah, and we're not even 100% sure that it's them, but, soldier on.
Oh, we'll get into the validity of these relics.
All right.
So let's get this.
All right. I'm skeptical.
I know you. You've always got your skeptic hat on, your skeptical spectacles. So, sources for this, I'm about to break a record. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 articles from Atlas Obscura.
Holy shit. I thought you were going to say Wikipedia, but I'm impressed.
No, we leaned on Atlas Obscura today. There's also one from National Geographic. And of course, we can't make Wikipedia feel lonely, so we had to include them too.
Of course.
As Katelyn kind of alluded, many of the lives of saints are kind of shrouded in myth and mystery, right? A lot of these people lived quite a long time ago, hundreds of years usually, and, their actions and exploits were exaggerated by their devotees, because why wouldn't you? It's the medieval times and we're having fun, despite it being the medieval times.
Most people, I don't think we're having fun, but a select few were having an absolute blast.
Yeah. And what's interesting about Saint Valentine is that we're not entirely sure which Saint Valentine anyone is talking about at any given time, because there were a few.
Common name.
Yeah, most likely the one who we get Valentine's Day from is Saint Valentine of Rome, and he was believed to be martyred at the hands of Emperor Claudius II. Claudius, when he was doing his emperor thing, noticed that in military dwellings there were a lot of marriages and engagements going on, and he thought that it was really distracting for all his soldiers to be fallen in love. He thought that was stupid, and that making families was dumb.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
He's like the one person who doesn't want people to get it on.
Yeah.
And make families.
In ancient Rome, especially.
What the fuck?
But so he decides he's going to ban all, Christian marriages, just flat out. And Valentine, he ain't a saint yet, heard this and was like, that's very unfair. I'm going to keep performing marriages. I'm going to keep performing Christian marriages. And eventually, rumor got out about that, and Claudius found out and was like, gotta arrest you, bro. I'm not sorry to do it. And he arrests him, and while Valentine is imprisoned, he ends up making friends with his jailer and curing the sight of his jailer's blind daughter.
Okay, yeah, great.
And he also ended up kind of making friends with the emperor, who would, come to visit him from time to time, which is kind of wild. And then, the moral of Valentine's story is don't push it too far, because he tries to convert the emperor to Christianity, and that's when the emperor finally decides, nope, you gotta go, you gotta die.
Yeah,
sorry.
Shit.
I know, he really tried. Then on February 14th, 269, he was clubbed to death and beheaded. So not very romantic.
Yeah, that sucks. That's just because he wanted people to get married. The punishment does not fit the crime.
I don't think so.
And he wanted to convert the emperor, but he was probably out there converting one or two other people as well. Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, he ended up writing a little farewell note before he was off to his execution, and he signed it, Your Valentine.
Oh.
This could be apocryphal, but it's mentioned in a few sources.
Sure, it's cutesy. Makes sense.
Yeah, but there are some martyrologists, people who study martyrs, who say that it's possible that 3 other Saint Valentines might have been martyred on that day. Like, what?
That's What are the odds of that, you guys? We're not that stupid. Like, come on.
There were 2 Saint Valentines who lived in Italy in the late 3rd century and another in North Africa around the same fucking time.
The fuck?
I know!
I don't understand.
I know, but so over time, all of these Saint Valentines get written about in various different parts of the world, and their stories end up kind of commingling. So you kind of, anything you hear about a Saint Valentine could be about any of these fucking dudes. Because honestly, there are so many.
Okay.
So he is, of course, the patron saint of lovers, also beekeepers, and epilepsy.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm. And in 496, Pope Gellius I made February 14th the feast day dedicated to Saint Valentine. So, bing bong, there you go.
Well, I like a feast.
Bing bong, fuck your life. Yeah.
I like a feast. I don't know when it turned into just candy.
That's not what I researched, yeah, so I don't know. Here's the thing with finding out where Saint Valentine's bones are. There are, more or less, about 10 places that claim to have his bones.
Jesus.
So let's start at the top with the skull.
Work our way down the body.
That's how I have organized it. Because I go anatomical, not alphabetical, baby. Here's a picture of the skull that is in Rome's Basilica di Santa Maria in Cosmedin, and it's, as Katelyn is seeing right now, it's in a little glass and gold case. The skull itself is covered in flowers, and it actually is written across his forehead that this is Saint Valentine.
See, we've seen this before. This little piece of paper, this little piece of tape that says something on it, and we take that as literal.
The thing about it is that there was a lot of time, about, somewhere between 500 to 1500 years passed between the various deaths of these Valentines. And in addition to that, in the Victorian era, there was a lot of swapping around of saintly relics. And even before that, during the French Revolution, lots of relics were destroyed or smuggled out of France and brought to different places. And sometimes bones were wildly mislabeled.
But this is a very, beautiful looking skull on display. I don't know. It's just the case is very cool. There's flowers everywhere, little flowers by the skull. I don't know. It's very festive.
Yeah, I really like it. It is nigh romantic.
Yeah.
The skull is in a church that stands on top of actually what is an ancient Roman temple. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A side note to this skull can be found in the same church where there is this famous, I don't know if it's a work of art, a sculpture, a piece of cultural lore. It's called Boca della Vierta, which is the mouth of truth. And this has nothing to do with St. Valentine, but I just had to tell you about it.
The mouth of truth?
The mouth of truth. It's this big disc with kind of a humanoid-shaped mouth on it. And it's said to represent some sort of pagan god. But the thing is the mouth is open, and the legend is that if you stick your hand in there and tell a lie, it'll bite your fucking hand off. So you could do that and then go see St. Valentine's skull.
And if you stick your hand in and you tell the truth, you get nothing?
You're fine. I mean, I would love a piece of candy, but I don't think that happens.
Yeah, see, there's no motivation for me to do this, so I don't see the point.
Other than getting to stick my hand in that statue's mouth, that's the point for me.
See, for some reason, I was like, here's what I thought the mouth of truth was going to be. I thought you would, whisper into the mouth, your secrets or, your questions, and somehow you hoped that it would, get to respond, or it would get to somebody. I don't know why, but that's what I was picturing in my mind, was someone kissing the mouth and telling it a secret.
I like that better, but what if it bites you?
Yeah, I guess.
So moving on to Poland, where we have another bit of skull.
Oh.
Which is interesting because, Katelyn, would you say that skull looks pretty intact to you?
Looks pretty intact, first one? For sure. I didn't see a lower half, a jawbone, but yeah.
So this little bit of skull that is supposedly from Saint Valentine is in a church in Klemno, Poland. And this relic has been in the possession of the church for possibly several hundred years. And it's in a little silver reliquary that dates to 1630. And in 1880, it was described as, quote, the saint's head, or rather a small fragment of it, end quote. So, implying it's part of the skull. So this reliquary is made of silver. It's about 1 foot high. It weighs 3 pounds. And on top, there's like a little dome-shaped lid where the relic is kept, and you can kiss it through the glass. Here's your kissing.
There we go. So, great. Great.
So, as we already alluded to, there's a problem with this. We already have Saint Valentine's skull, supposedly, in Rome. How can bits of it also be in Poland? This again leads to the fact that there are several people who are Saint Valentine. A Saint Valentine, not the Saint Valentine. All right. Things are getting kind of hot and heavy in Poland. Let's go over to Prague.
Okay, sure.
It's 2002, and we're sorting through the basement of the Basilica Saints Paul and Peter in Prague, and we stumble upon several relics, one of which is labeled as the shoulder blade of Saint Valentine.
I love it. It was just in the basement, like, hanging out.
My favorite thing is when museums find shit in their own collections where they're like, how long have we had this?
God.
So it's believed to have been brought to Prague in the 1300s by the Holy Roman Emperor Charles IV. Now it's on display, and they have a little mass for it every February 14th.
Cute.
Hey, you want to go to Glasgow?
I do. I liked Glasgow.
Oh, I didn't get to go, but metaphorically we're going now. In 1868, a wealthy French family donated this small wooden box to the church, and on it was labeled Corpus Valentini Martinius, or the body of Saint Valentine.
What part?
We don't really know.
Great.
It's a box full of bones.
Jesus God.
It's like a beautiful little ornate box with like gold trim, and it sat kind of, again, like the shoulder blade, sat in church storage for almost 100 years. And then in the 90s, they were like, oh, this is good. We should put this on display. And so it's been on display since 1999.
How did the French couple get it?
Who the fuck knows?
Sure.
So now that we've been to Glasgow, I think we have to warm up a little bit. I say we go to Spain.
Yes.
So I have another picture for you.
Okay.
These are the remains of Saint Valentine that are at the Iglesia de San Antón, which are like in a glass case, and it looks like the top half of him.
Yeah, so that's another skull, and some very long, maybe leg bones or something, and just like a pile of bones underneath. Wow.
So we already are getting doubles.
Yeah,
this one gives us a lot of doubles.
It's part of the canon now. That's what it is.
Yeah, and these are believed to have shown up in the late 1700s as a gift from King Carlos IV. So I could go on and on about these various places where St. Valentine is, because like I said, there's more than 10. You know, shout out to Dublin, where they have his fucking heart. Shout out to Missouri, where they have a wax figure that might have bits of relic inside of it. But the best to me is France, because, of course, come on, France. They're always getting up to it. So the journey around St. Valentine and his relics in France starts in 1866, when there's a terrible blight on the vineyards of France. Phylloxera is a type of insect that eats wine grapes and caused the Great French Wine Blight. So, in an appeal for God to help them, a local landowner and white wine lover went to Rome and made a prayer to all of the saints and to the Lord for the wine, and brought back a little souvenir. Can you guess what he might have brought back with him?
I'm thinking it was a little piece of bone.
Yeah, it was bits of St. Valentine.
Jesus. So Saint Valentine is the saint of love, and so then also he's the saint of wine or something?
I'm not sure what the connection was. And we're not actually sure how much or what he brought back, but he did bring back relics. That's what it says.
Sure.
And the town, instead of being disgusted at him and going, "Guy, what the fuck are you doing?" The town said, "That's fantastic. Thank you, Guy." And they started a festival in the honor of this event, La Festo de Poton, Pouton.
I don't know, sorry.
Well, it's the festival of lovers and kissing.
And it celebrates wine also.
Well, it celebrates this guy's attempt to end the wine blight by bringing back relics. And also, it's celebrated by, in a Valentine-ish type manner of, getting together with your lover and doing some public kissing. But in Victorian times, what they would basically do is get all dressed up and take these relics out on a fucking walk with them down the street and, show them around town.
It's a relic parade.
Basically, yes, exactly. It was a relic parade. And I mean, the long and the short of it is that we'll never know which Saint Valentine is where and who and from what part of the world. But the thing is that whenever a church has relics, and we've talked about this, it draws pilgrims. It draws business to the church. So the more relics you have, the more pilgrims you have. Basically, the more famous of a relic you have, the more pilgrimage you get, the more patronage you get. Ching ching, money money. Who is more famous than Saint Valentine? He has his own fucking holiday.
Maybe Santa, but that's it.
Oh, well, we've discussed
I know.
So the moral of the story is, Valentine's Day has always been about capitalism. Boo love!
And death.
And death. No, I mean, the moral of the story is, St. Valentine's bones are kind of like love. They're everywhere.
Aww. And like Santa.
And like Santa. He's also everywhere. Turn around, there he is! Santa what? We have to go to an ad break?
Yes, my little bony children.
Okay, Santa. Would you like a cookie?
Yes. Ho, ho, ho.
Hey, Twisted listeners, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Diva, and we are the Twisted Listeners, a weekly podcast about murder and lists.
Each week, we cover 10 cases that all fall under a specific topic, which we also choose weekly. Past topics have included family annihilators, murderous moms, mysterious and spooky deaths, online predators, and other truly twisted topics.
We cover many well-known cases, but we also love to sprinkle in some lesser-known murders, so there's always something new and surprising in every episode.
So, if you love lists and true crime as much as we do, then we're the podcast for you. Join us for some twisted tales and interesting topics every week. And remember,
stay
off our
lists.
Bye, Santa. Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
See you next year.
Oh my god, Santa was here? What the hell was that?
Yeah, when you went to the bathroom, Santa came.
That's crazy. How was that ad break with you and Santa?
It was awesome. He kept talking during the ad, though, which was kind of annoying.
Well, shit. I don't know why it's Christmas in February, but it is.
Well, when Santa shows up at your door, what the fuck else you gonna do? The man has a very large bag that I could fit into.
So for my birthday topic, I was like, come on, Katelyn. You've been doing some real downers lately. Why don't you pick something a little more lighthearted? Of course I didn't.
Oh, Katelyn.
I didn't even listen to myself for a second.
Of course you didn't.
No.
Why would you?
No. So I'm doing a murder. This was one I hadn't really, the names are kind of familiar to me, but I really didn't know shit about it. I'm going to tell you about the murderers, known as Leopold and Loeb.
Oh, this is ringing bells in my head, but I couldn't tell you what they did.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a trigger warning up top for violence against a child. So This has a connection to Valentine's Day very loosely, but my connection to Valentine's Day is that this story is kind of about lovers who kill.
Lovers who kill.
It's not kind of about it. It is about lovers who kill. Nathan Leopold was born in November 1904 in Chicago, and he was the son of wealthy German Jewish immigrants. He is described as a child prodigy.
Oh.
Apparently, he spoke his first words at the age of 4 months. Oh, back it up. My sources for this were crimemuseum.org, Smithsonian Mag, Wikipedia, and PBS.org. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming. So Nathan Leopold did his undergraduate degree at University of Chicago, and he was going to go to Harvard Law School after a trip to Europe. He reportedly studied 15 languages. We're not sure if that's totally true, but he really liked to talk about it.
I'm sure he did, in many languages.
And he was actually recognized nationally for his study as an ornithologist. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's like basically the study of birds.
It's birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking birds.
So Loeb, and Loeb is spelled Loeb, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying that correctly. I did look up a video. Loeb was born in June 1905, also in Chicago. He was born into a very wealthy family. I guess daddy was a lawyer and retired vice president of Sears, Roebuck and Company. And I don't know if that means like Sears or what, but
I think so.
I have a feeling yes.
So. If he was very rich, I would say yes.
And the father was Jewish, mother was Catholic. He was also considered pretty objectively smart, and he actually skipped a bunch of grades in school and graduated at 17 from the University of Michigan. He was, yeah, no big deal. And then he was...
I thought you were going to say high school.
No, I know. It's like he really skipped a bunch of grades, or sounds like he had a governess, so he probably did a lot of like homeschooling stuff. So
he had a governess. He didn't have a nanny. He had a governess.
That's what Wikipedia said, so I don't know what to tell you.
No, I'm sure she was.
When this story takes place, which is in 1924, he was doing graduate work in history at the University of Chicago. He was a little more, like, social than Leopold, and he liked to play tennis and read detective novels. Whatever, dude.
I too like tennis and detective novels.
I gotta say, I don't mind tennis. Tennis is kind of fun, actually. Whether it's table tennis or...
racket. Let's play.
Yeah, I will tennis the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, you'll smoke me in tennis. You got powerful arms.
My problem in tennis, actually, I did try to play it in high school, and I was too powerful. Like, I would always just blast the tennis ball, like, to the back of the thing. Like, I didn't have any finesse to, like, get it in the square. So, little tennis tangent for you.
No, I just love the idea of you fucking, like, lighting a tennis ball on fire with your nasty dunks.
Well, I was getting some aggression out or something, but it would just blast off to the back, and it's like, oh, you actually have to control that. Okay, I am gonna quit, actually.
I mean, this is why teen girls are the best fucking tennis players, because they're mad. Anyway.
So they kind of knew each other, these two, while they were growing up, but they actually, like, really started to get close at the University of Chicago. And they were both interested in crime, so that's where they kind of started their friendship.
A friendship started on an interest in crime? That would never work.
Well, they were interested in some other things, but I'm going to get into that.
Doing the crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Leopold was a little bit of a weirdo. He was super into Friedrich Nietzsche's work. You know, Nietzsche.
Oh, God. Oh, I know Nietzsche.
Basically, he globbed onto this idea of supermen, aka Übermenschen, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong. Yeah, you really gotta listen to this, Soph, because this is some good shit. These supermen are, quote, transcendent individuals possessing extraordinary and unusual capabilities, whose superior intellects allowed them to rise above the laws and rules that bound the unimportant average populace.
Oh no! Oh no!
This is incel behavior.
No. Oh no, yeah!
Don't you think?
Oh, so, yes! It's incel behavior. It's some fucking eugenics ass shit. It's like, it also, like, it's either incel or you flip it over to, like, alphas. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know that alpha con that's supposedly happening or it happened? It's just a bunch of men whipping their dicks out and measuring them and being like, you have to be an alpha. I'm a high value man. The whole rest of the podcast could be my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
One description of what a Superman is.
I know.
Oh, I would love to meet one of these Supermen.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Anyway. I would not like to.
No. If I met a Superman in a dark alley, I would run away from him. Mm-hmm. Run. He is red flag incarnate.
So, obviously, being so into Nietzsche, Leopold really believed that he and Loeb were supermen. And they could...
of course that they were.
Yeah.
Of course that they were.
So, what they start doing together is pretty destructive. They like to steal cars, set fires, and, like, smash windows. But as they're doing this, Leopold really realizes how much he loves his buddy Loeb.
Aww. There's nothing like falling in love
while you're breaking glass
Doing
and
crime.
stealing cars. It's so hot.
That's some Lana Del Rey ass shit.
So it sounds like they were very much connected. I don't know if it was more love on the side of Leopold, but some of my sources said that he would have done anything for Loeb, and like Leopold would do anything he wanted Loeb for sexual favors, is what one of my sources says here. So it's just like, who knows? It's kind of that fine line between like, is this lust? Is this love? Is it, getting caught up in your Bonnie and Clyde moment?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I imagine sometimes people who are like that smart or have been like treated a certain way throughout their entire life, like expect to keep being treated that way or become extremely manipulative to keep being treated that way. So like, I think neither is guilty here. Or neither is innocent here.
Thank you. Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah. No.
Both are guilty.
Yeah.
Both are guilty.
And I should say,
both are very guilty.
I just want to, like, I don't think it needs to be said to, like, you and I, but just to our listeners, I don't hate these two because they're gay. I hate these two because they're entitled pieces of shit.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And my sources didn't really play into, like, because this was the 20s. So it's like, I wonder what role being, like, closeted played in this, or if they weren't in the closet. It just, like, it wasn't really talked about in any of the articles that I read. So Loeb was the one who really liked to escalate the violence. So, they would start with the petty crimes. And he liked having Leopold along because he had this willing participant to, like, kind of control and have him help with whatever things he was doing.
An assistant.
Yeah, he is a criminal assistant, and it's so
An
hot.
extra pair of hands. And who doesn't want that?
And a sex friend. But we're getting bored. We need to up the stakes. No. So what are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
I'm glad you asked. We are going to commit the perfect murder.
No.
We are going to commit a murder so perfect that it will be the talk of the town in Chicago. It will be the crime of the century, and we will get away with it because we are supermen.
Because we are supermen, because we are rich, because we are entitled, because we are white.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So they decide, and this is where my trigger warning comes in, they decide that the best course of action is going to be to kidnap a child.
Oh my god, now I remember.
Yeah. So they are planning this. This is going on in the winter of 1923 and like into, spring. They're talking about it all the time. I'm sure they just got their rocks off talking about this all the time. they're like, how much is the ransom going to be? Because we gotta do a ransom note because that's going to like, you know, get the media's attention. Maybe we'll get some money out of it. You know, this is perfect.
You know, some couples fantasize about taking a vacation or buying a dog. Mm-hmm. But
not these boys.
I mean, I guess, no. These boys portrayed their love to each other by planning a real nasty kidnapping.
Mm-hmm. And they have no, like, victim in mind. They're just like, we're going to do this because we feel like it and we want to commit the perfect crime, and that's all there is to it. Doesn't matter how it affects anybody else. So they decide they're going to do a $10,000 ransom because, you know, they're greedy. And they're like, okay, we're going to have the victim's father throw a package with the money in it from a train, like off of some railroad tracks.
Oh my!
And then they'll be waiting below in a car, and then they'll like get the money and run, and that's how they're going to get their ransom.
Jesus Christ! Real Supermen, these two.
Yeah, Superman. Okay, so the crime that they're famous for happens on May 21st, 1924, and they're just driving around the south side of Chicago in their car looking for a victim. So it's about 5 o'clock, and they've been driving around for about 2 hours, and they're about ready to call it a day. And then Loeb sees his little 14-year-old second cousin, Bobby Franks, walking down the street. And he's like, perfect.
His own fucking cousin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some sources said it was a neighbor boy, but most sources says it's his cousin or distant cousin. He knew him.
God, that's so fucked.
Yeah, the kid gets willingly into the car because he knows his cousin.
Yeah, because why wouldn't he? Because he knows his cousin, or he knows his neighbor, and he thinks that he's not going to fucking hurt him.
Yeah. So they're driving around, not for very long, and then Loeb stops the car, gags Bobby, and beats him over the head with a chisel. In the car, like what, like just so brutal and unnecessary. And one of my sources here said that they like stopped for lunch before they had disposed of the body too. So like, which I kind of believe because they're just dicks.
Of course, no, I totally believe that. They're so disconnected. They're so rich and they're so entitled. And they've lived such, like, privileged lives and been praised for everything that they do. So, of course, they're gonna fucking stop for lunch because they're uncatchable supermen.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So, the last part of their special perfect crime is they pour acid on the victim's face when he's already dead. And then they put his body into, like, a drain pipe. And then they're like, okay... You know, they wipe off their hands and they say, okay, high five, buddy. Perfect crime.
Ugh.
The problem with this is that right near the crime scene, Leopold had dropped his glasses, his prescription glasses.
Yes, you dumbass.
And they did mail the ransom note, which they had typed on a typewriter. They put it in the mail after they disposed of the body, but it never got... It didn't get there in time. It's not funny.
Y'all.
This is not like someone died. I'm not laughing that this kid died.
No.
I'm laughing at
but they fucked it up.
How
so
perfect they wanted this crime to be and how perfectly they fucked it up.
Yeah. Like what sounds like on multiple steps.
Yeah, they drop. One of them drops their glasses, which is like, dude, come on. I wear glasses. Like, if you need glasses, you need glasses. What are you doing?
Your prescription glasses, which is like easy to just trace right back to you.
Yeah. So right away, the next morning after the murder, the body is discovered. And he's identified right away, too. So I guess the acid didn't work.
No.
And they are able to trace the glasses to, like, an optometrist. They are able to find Leopold and Loeb, and those two are the main suspects.
Yes, because it's the 1920s, and there's one optometrist in town, and he knows everybody.
Exactly.
And he goes, I know exactly who those fucking glasses belong to. It's this
Exactly. So there's some back and forth, but 10 days after the murder, they confess. They're both, like...
To their perfect crime, Superman?
Yeah, to their perfect crime. Both of them are, like, 20 years old or less. Like, this is just, like, they're so young still. It's just, like, so... It's batshit.
And these disgusting people preyed on a child.
Yeah.
That was your perfect fucking murder.
That was your perfect crime that you had to commit.
You're Superman, but you killed a child?
Yeah, it's like, you're so brave, but it's just...
But you killed a fucking child?
It's disgusting.
You disgusting human beings.
It's really gross. And of course, their parents can only get the best for their baby boys, so they hire Clarence Darrow.
What? Really?
Mm-hmm. That is their defense attorney. It's Clarence Darrow. Is it Darrow?
No
Clarence
wonder
Darrow?
this... I think it's Darrow.
I think it's Darrow, too. So,
wow.
Clarence is very anti-death penalty, and this is a death penalty case, obviously. So he was actually kind of a smart move on the parents' behalf. It just, it's gonna work out. So, obviously this case was a media sensation. The WGN radio station in Chicago was thinking about broadcasting the trial live, but then, this kills me, they decided it wasn't appropriate entertainment for little families on their radios, in their living rooms.
Well, they're probably right.
Yeah.
I think, as much as I love true crime, if I had little kiddos, would not want that on the radio for them to hear.
No. Okay, so the trial is very intense. Obviously, both sides are trying their hardest to win. And Clarence Darrow pulls out all the stops in his closing argument, which takes 12 hours.
Come on, Clarence. People have lives.
He admits that his clients were guilty, but argues that it was, they kind of did like kind of an insanity plea, or basically they were arguing that it was out of their control. They're supermen.
How?
They're supermen.
How, I don't know. I'm the daughter of a lawyer, and I know how to twist and turn things up to argue one way or the other. But I'm slipping on how, if you know they're guilty, and everyone knows they're guilty, and they're rich and tired little fucks, how do you win this one, Clarence? Was it the 12 hours? Did you wear them down?
So basically, he didn't. It wasn't a total win. So the judge does spare his clients the death penalty, but they do both receive life in prison.
Hell yeah! Fuck those guys forever.
Yes. But they avoided the noose.
Well,
and of course,
we don't love killing more people.
I don't know how I feel about
men
this.
Were horrible.
I don't even know how I feel about Clarence Darrow. He's not really a hero to me in this story.
No.
And of course,
not here.
Of course, about a year after this trial, Darrow goes on to play another leading role in the Scopes monkey trial, where John Scopes is sued for teaching evolution in violation of a Tennessee law. And that one, the radio station did send a microphone to have that one broadcasted, because they were like, this one's a little tamer.
No children were killed.
Yeah.
No children were hit in the face with a chisel.
Yeah, exactly. So that's basically the story of Leopold and Loeb. Loeb is killed in a prison fight in 1936, so not too long after all this.
Good riddance.
After 34 years in prison in 1958, Leopold is released, and he died in 1971.
Well,
I know. I'm sorry.
May they burn in hell. Happy Valentine's Day Massacre, Katelyn.
I know. I know. I don't know what to do. I just am so interested in the creepiest shit.
I mean, it's fascinating to think about how people could do such fucked up shit, and I think these people are interesting, to me at least, because I think about the lives that they led and how could they possibly get to this point of kidnapping and murdering a child when they're supposed to be child prodigies.
Mm-hmm.
They're 20 and less than 20, you said, so barely not children themselves. Mm-hmm. And they make this absolutely wild decision when they could be scientists, when they could be
lawyers,
engineers.
One of them was going to go to Harvard.
Well, he ain't going now, because that's how you ruin your fucking everything.
Yeah.
And how you delete a person from this world.
For no reason. So the moral of my story, Boneheads, is if someone's trying to get you to do something in the name of love, be very cautious.
Yeah. Really consider the situation.
If it's go out to dinner, go on a roller coaster,
sure.
yeah, go for it. But don't kill a child.
Kid. No.
After committing a series of petty crimes to get your rocks off.
Yeah. He's not that hot. Whatever it is, he's not that hot.
He is not worth it.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this variety of Valentine tales, a gruesome murder, and a collection of questionable bones.
That's what we're all about over here on Anything Bones podcast.
Exactly. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope you're drinking water and appreciating those bones of yours.
Yeah.
Head over to the Instagram to view the pictures from this week's episode and give us your score on the birthday quiz.
Yeah, anybody that was playing along at home, let us know how you did. And if you can beat my perfect score.
Yeah, Katelyn's 5 straight dunkers. Yeah, we love you.
Love you guys. Bon voyage.
Goodbye.
Bye, it's my birthday.
Thanks for listening to Anything Bones. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Anything Bones Podcast, or email us at anythingbonespodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you to Nick Kruger for our spooky music and Stephen Vetteroff
At Chubby Scrubby on Twitter.
for our jazzy vocals, and thank you to Camilla Franklin
At Camilla Strader on Instagram.
for our beautiful bony artwork. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Bye, Santa! Thank you for coming!
Bye-bye.
See you next year!